I'm asking myself, okay, now why exactly am I all of a sudden doing scary big stuff? Because life was just too calm before? All right. I need that sun to get higher or do something, because that angle it's at is bad. I'm in a shadow. I don't know if you can tell, but the the angle I'm hitting is real important. Because I have to hit, when I'm holding it like this, I'm not fully supporting the material. So I have to hit it in such a manner that the force itself is not in a bad direction. And again, you might at some point feel, see how I went kind of along, I'm trying to go in. You may feel, I've got this on my leg back here, and I've got my elbow on the back edge of it, my arms all along the back side here. And again, I'm trying to get this angle just right to where there's enough inward component to where I'm not doing bad things, not bending. But the biggest problem for me with this kind of stuff is my whole body is in a different position from what it normally is when I swing. And therefore nothing looks the same. And the swing isn't the same. So I have to worry more about getting the angle right, because it would be fairly easy to not get the angle right, since this is not how I usually swing. I'm reading every platform before I hit it. And if it looks just right, then I'll hit it exactly the direction I want to. And if it looks a little bit iffy, like it might fail, I tend to take a tiny bite with the punch, and I tend to hit it more or less straight down into the leather. And I've never told you this before, but here's why I think that has worked out so well for me. When you hit it straight down into leather, if the platform fails, well, you were hitting straight down anyway, so it just doesn't go anywhere. It just makes a little flake straight down. But if the platform doesn't fail, then the additional energy goes into the leather and gets redirected, and the flake kind of runs anyway, even though you didn't know if it was gonna. See, I've got this big old end out here that I'm not supporting. So all those hits that I just did, I was counting on the angle being perfect. Not ground enough. That was ground enough. That was ground enough. That was perfect. All right, y'all. Hi, it's Freeze Cracked, and I'm just getting started here. It's Friday morning. It's kind of cool. Yesterday, I stopped this in the middle. What this is, and I thought this was an 18-inch blade because I misread the thing on the. There was a price of 18 on it. It's actually 15 1/4 inches is what it is, and I have lost none of it so far as the length. But really what this was like a support video. So now I've got it. You can see all the percussion scars on this side. I hope you can see them. It's all percussion. This side I turned the edge to finish that other side, and there's some intrusive stuff on this that obliterated some of the original scars. But now the goal is to work it down a little bit, taper it. I'm going to try and make something like a haskett type point. But anyway, the main thing, the reason I started working this was because of a deal I did the other day where I worked a 23-inch blade, big crude blade out of a 50 or so pound thing of obsidian. But anyway, the support issues. You know, it's easy to support this end because I've got this tucked up under my arm. I've got dampening all along. Not a problem to work like this if you want to. Where it becomes a problem is when you want to do the opposite end. Now, you can take and have this laying on your leg like that, turned up, and you can take down here and work and do that number. What I was doing yesterday, actually I was holding it like this, and I was using indirect and shooting in, and I was shooting in at angles where I knew it was going in, and I was just holding it like that, and it was actually working. Although it's kind of scary because there's a twistiness that can occur there if you get too much, if you get any wrong force in it. But the angles going in right, it wasn't a problem. But then I thought, well, what if I put a table in front of me? And I don't know if this is visible here, but I put a table in front of me and put something on it to dampen. And now I can work on this end with that end sitting on something, resting on something. So you kind of just let your imagination help you figure out what the best way is to do with some of this stuff, I guess. But anyway. So I haven't done anything yet today, so got to do a little bit of very careful, I guess, careful warming up. And I thought maybe I would kind of pay attention today. you know, filming is a two-edged sword. On the one hand, it's getting information out there, but on the other hand, it definitely, if I don't pay attention, it can jeopardize what I'm trying to do. I made the comment yesterday, this is sort of like notching, in that it works until it doesn't, and you constantly face that issue of, well, is what I'm doing okay? And you find out when it fails that it wasn't. Ah! See, that was more than I wanted to do. I blasted all the way over there. It was almost an overshot and would have taken off some of that side. But on the other hand, it's cool flakes. I mean, it's cool flake pattern, so, you know, it's great if it works, it's bad if it don't. So I just I'm trying to be more careful than normal and take my time a little bit and pay attention. And all my usual shortcuts and cheats and everything like that, try to avoid all of that. Ah!